Grand Street stop, Chicago Redline. The noise of a subway can remove any doubt that there's an outside to the mind. Well, maybe not, but for the greenhorn city traveler, it's a strange experience. A fine, greasy dust covers the train tracks, and a few fluorescent lights flood the tunnel with a banal glow. Sky blue tiles on the walls comfort us somewhat with the color of the outside. The floor, which comes to a steep precipice before the tracks, feels remarkably smooth, a million shoes sanding it to a fine polish over the years. Ever wonder about the statistical number of deaths that occur every year with the Chicago Transit Authority? Might be easy to slip onto the tracks if you're clumsy or inebriated, which is often the case on many holidays. St. Patrick's Day, for example, is a grand stage for citywide municipal drunkenness, not to mention New Year's Day or Christmas or last Friday. Any wrong step and you might land on the third rail, or worse yet, get run down immediately by a train as you land on the third rail. A sign on the walls warns us about the dangers of the tracks below. A small yellow stick figure is obviously shocked as he steps on the rail. If there exists a universal visual language of signs and symbols, it exists here in the subway underneath Grand Street. And I can see the sprawled lights of a train down the tunnel about 100 meters away. The first thing that happens is that air pushes through the tunnel like water through a hose, with the force of the displacement of the train. It's a superb feeling on a summer day. Today it's muggy, and the business people awaiting the train simultaneously loosen their collars. They're all returning home from their high-stress jobs, briefcases and cell phones in hand. Office workers. EOE. The precious seconds wasted in the subway, which is partially insulated to cell phones, irritates one of the suit jockeys. His name has to be either Trevor or Trent. The look on his face says, I could be trading stocks or working on proposals. There's shoppers in here too. Paper bags with fatally obnoxious corporate logos and shoulder straps slung over pert housewives with credit cards, recently acquired engagement rings, effete purses, and trendy satchel bags in hand. I've heard materialism in that instance has an antidepressant effect. It's therapeutic greed. A Japanese family stands in circle outside the escalator. Foreign shoppers tend to purchase products they could easily purchase at home. You'd think they could wait, but maybe it's an effect of culture shock. I did the same thing when I went to a McDonald's overseas. It's good to take sanctuary in someplace familiar. Likewise, the camera-clutching Mrs. Tanaka purchased a yellow nylon Hello Kitty backpack. An enormous baritone rumble fills the hall when the train comes. My ear catches excessive vibration, and yelling is the only way to communicate. This becomes kind of tragic when homeless people, who sometimes seem to have greater income than I, beg for change at the exact moment the train comes through. They're people that just don't have homes. It's their job. I don't know how one can last a winter without a home here in Chicago. I'm not one to judge. There's nothing else I can do. I don't have an opinion that's not gauche or baseless. Most Chicagoans sweep the existence of the homeless into a collective unconsciousness, along with the rest of the painful and colorfully bitter history of the city. The riots of the 60s, the working conditions of the Industrial Revolution, wars, gangsters, serial killers. All these things compress into peripheral vision. And who can blame us? If we remembered, we might not be able to function, or something like that. Right now, it's a, hey man, can you spare some? And then it's impossible to hear anything because I can almost scoop the sound from the air and put it in my pocket. People hurriedly make for the train, and any unintentional collision receives a breathless or grunted excuse me. Then a polite mechanical voice says, the next stop is Lake. Doors open on the right at Lake. In curt reply, a snap of the doors as they close, and a reverse of the entire process. Air sucks out, again, faintly pleasant. Whoosh, sound itself gels together, and I'm screaming, no I don't, I'm sorry. As the train departs and I'm left on the station, the world seems flat with the soundtrack edited out.